What's good, YouTube? This is STORMYBMAN, and I am back with another video breakdown for HANEY versus LINARES, taking place this Saturday, May 29th on DAZN. I got off to a little bit of a late start, forgive me for that, but here we are, and Stormy's going to give his ideas, thoughts on this fight for this evening. The card should be starting within an hour or so, or a little bit more, but I thought I would try to come forward, give you a little something about what I think about this fight. Before we get started, I want to say shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community, and Liberated Perspective, the third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You know, Stormy has been a little bit under the weather, but I am coming forward trying to do this for you guys to let you know that I am still trying to stay on top of what's going on. This is a great fight this evening. This fight that's taking place between Devin Haney, the Dream, against Jorge Linares, a former world champion at the weight class of the lightweight division, and someone who is very much a fighter who can test Devin and gauge allow us to gauge where Devin is at this current time. The wonderful thing about fights like this is it's an opportunity to see a young lion cut his teeth in the jungle of experienced veterans, and Linares is definitely that. A fighter who has a punch, he can fight, he's a former champion, he has a record of 47-5, which means that he has been around the block, you know what I'm saying? And with Devin, who's on that many fights for his career, you know, you see Devin out there with a record of 25-0. Well, Linares is the type of fighter who can help us gauge, as I said, where Devin is, but also ask some questions of the young fighter, because there's no reason for Linares to be afraid of the situation at hand. He is actually welcoming this opportunity for a chance to become a champion again himself. The only thing is, the deck is quite stacked against him when you see such a young, hot prospect such as Haney. They don't come along very often, although currently in this particular era, we do have a couple of fighters that are of this ilk. I mean, you're talking about fighters with the names like Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis, both who have that type of star quality potential. But we need fights that can bring the star quality out of them. And the star quality has absolutely nothing to do with their popularity, with social media, the popularity of just people speaking of their names. It's about the performances in the ring. And that's where I think that Devin Haney has taken a step forward as opposed to the other two fighters that I just mentioned. Haney, who turned pro at the age of 16, and you know, you look at him now, he's 22 years old, so he's not wet behind the ears by any means. But what we do need to see now is that next level. Although he's been awarded a WBC lightweight title, which will be on the line tonight, we need to see the performance that lets us know that he has arrived as potential championship caliber fighter. So with that being said, we know that Linares is going to be there to be a challenger and not an opponent. I like to see young fighters in fights such as these. It gives them an opportunity to really face down what's before them, look themselves in the mirror, so to speak. in a number of setup fights, you have fighters who are always in a position to look good. But in a fight where they're being challenged, it's not necessarily there for them to look good. It's there for them to figure out how to win. What we've seen so far of HANEY's potential is that the young man can box. That's very good. His power has been in question and things of that nature, but remember, he's going to grow, he's going to get stronger, and if he learns how to set down on punches and set knockouts up, which is another part of the learning process, we may see that. The fact that he's not bludgeoning everybody out with knockouts is a good thing, because the more rounds that he could get under his belt, the better off it'll be for him and his performances as he goes and fights more experienced fighters. Having the rounds under the belt is very important, because rounds in the bank mean that you have had an opportunity to be in there a little bit longer and figure out certain questions that are asked of you during a bout. LINARES in this fight will be looking to do things to HANEY that hasn't been done to him before. Maybe some bullying tactics, maybe some dirty tactics, maybe even allowing Devin to lead where he can counter and do things. It's up to the LINARES camp to put that together, but I'm giving scenarios here because that's what an experienced fighter can do. You never know. He may not try to outbox Devin Haney, because at 35, he's an older fighter and veteran, so he has to conserve and preserve himself to do things at particular points during the fight. He may be looking to take Devin into the late rounds to try to do something then, or he may try to look to open up and blaze him early. These are the type of things you just don't know, but they're the type of things that Devin should be prepared for. And I'm sure his camp is looking at that. Another thing is the athleticism that Devin possesses will automatically give LINARES trouble. He had trouble against Vasily Lomachenko, who was definitely not up to the ilk of LINARES as far as his ability to move and be agile in the ring. But you couple that with the youth and vigor that Haney brings, the boxing skills, the subtle teachings that he's learned from being around the Mayweather gym and things of that nature, and from Mayweather himself, will put him in a great place to be able to execute and do things to LINARES that LINARES may not expect as well. I expect this fight to go late, go deep in rounds. I could even see it end up being a decision. I don't expect a knockout unless Devin has improved since his last outing against Yuriorkis Gamboa, which was in December of 2020. We will find out if he has gained a little more strength and power and set down on those punches a little bit better. But what I do expect is for him to come out to look good, with an intent to look good and to look fierce. He wants to stand and assert himself, but he has to be careful of this veteran. There will be some tricks that you may see as long as the fight goes rounds. Again, LINARES is looking to do some things and try to last to get to the late rounds. That should be his objective. Get to the later rounds and then test the young stud and see what he has to offer. But will he be able to do that? It's not necessarily on the table. We don't know if he'll be able to do it, but we'll look to see. My personal thoughts and feelings are that I expect Devin to win on a decision. Okay, but I don't rule out a stoppage. LINARES has been known to cut. He could stop him on cuts. He could stop him in a battle of attrition. Sometimes mentally, a fading fighter, at a later stage. Like, this man has been in some scrape ups, okay? And he was even stopped in a fight where, you know, in the first round just in 2019. So you don't know if Linares is going to have everything he needs to have. But for the time that he's in there, as long as Devin hasn't made him expend himself, he will be able to challenge. But I do think that Devin will be able to make him expend himself. He'll make Linares pick his feet up. He'll have to chase down. We'll see what happens with that. But STORMYBMAN is looking for a victory in this from Devin Haney, and that's how I see this fight. So leave your thoughts and let me know what your considerations are regarding this fight, as we see a great step up fight for Devin Haney. I'm excited for this. Look forward to seeing it. Look forward to you all watching it as well and hearing what you have to say about it. And we will catch up with each other again soon. STORMYBMAN out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.